Welcome to Azure Data Factory Real-Time Scenarios. Scenario 6. Execute copy activity only if file contents are as expected. So this is my copy activity. So my source is Azure Blob Storage and inside I have some files. So I want to copy the files to the my sink destination, and destination is Azure Data Lake into storage using Azure Data Factory. So already we are familiar with all the following things. Now, but I have a condition. I want to copy the files whose column count is 13. So I'm just specifying a specific condition. So I don't want all the files. I want the file which has only column count 13. So how to perform this? We'll see by demo here. So here, first one is validation. The validation informs us whether the file exists or not. It's not going to check any condition. It's going to check only the files exist or not. That's it. And the get metadata. The get metadata tells us to all the metadata details about the files. Example like file size, column count, size, the remaining things. And the condition. This is the where we are going to mention the column count. That is the reason we are using here if condition. And the copy activity, as we know, that is going to copy the activity from source to sink if condition is satisfied. If condition satisfied, then only copy, otherwise it execute fails. Satisfied, true. If not satisfied, goes to the false. So we're going to check through our portal. Let's do the demo. Now, so this is Azure portal. Under the Azure portal, already have created two accounts. One is blob storage and one is Azure Data Factory Gen 2 Lake Storage. So under the blob storage, I have a container. Under the container, I have a file and the file is zip file. See, population by age dot tsv dot gz. So it is gz file and the my file is tab separated. Now let me go to the Azure Data Factory, and under the Manage tab, already I have created two linked services. Next one is under the tab Other, we have data sets. Under the data sets, already have created two data sets. One is data set DS injet population data set. It is my source data set, and other one is DS sync population data set. It is my sync data set. So under this data set, let me copy the file. So population and dot gz. So as we said, compression, my file is compression. The reason let me choose gzip, and mine is my file is tab separated. So let me choose tab separated here. So I completed in source data set. Now let me go to the sync data set. Next, if you want to give a specific file name, you can give it. Otherwise, it will copy the file name as it is from source to destination. And compression type is not available, but we can say here. So mine is tab separated. Let me give the file name. Population by age dot tsv. I'm not going to keep any zip file, so I am unzipping here. Okay. So I finished with the both the mapping of data sets. Now let me go to the pipeline. So this is my pipeline. First, if we go back, first we'll go for validation. So we'll check validation under the activities. So let me give the name of the validation. Check if file exists. So it will say only the whether the file exists or not. And let me give, this is my source data set, and give me the time also. So let me give only 30 seconds. So next one is metadata. So require the metadata of the file. So let me check metadata activity and give the linking. Get metadata of 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 file metadata. Okay, so we are going to get the metadata of the file. Now under the setting, now settings, under the setting we need to choose the data set. So this is DS images population. So this is my source data set, and we have to give the file list. So we need to find out what are the things required. So first we require the column count, so which is we are going to use it now for if condition. If you want, just I'm taking the file size, or file exists or not, so it will say boolean true or false. The next one is, let me just took another one also, and a file size also. If you want, we can take all the things, that depends upon your. Next, let me go for and validate it. The pipeline has been validated and debug it once. So the debug is in process. It goes to check only two things. What is the things? Whether the file is available or not. So and the second one is get metadata file. We need to wait until it success. So see here, file exists. So see, true, file is exists, and now goes to the metadata output. See, the file exists is true, size is 598 kilobytes, and the column count is 13. Now let me choose if activity, if condition. So already we know that our condition, our number of columns is 13. If condition. Now suppose if you want to give here activities, so we have to check give the condition. So next we have to click on true. Just a minute, sorry. So under gender give the name, under the activities we should give the condition. So before you give the condition, we need to give the mapping, because the output of metadata is required for input. So let me keep in order. Okay. So expression we need to give it here under the true. Just a minute. Activities we need to give the condition and click on add dynamically. So under that we have functions. Under that logical function there will be word equals. We need to take the equal, and we have to take the output of metadata. So under the logical functions equals, under the equals activity output, check if file exists, no. Get metadata, so we have to check get metadata file output activity dot column count is 13. So it is our expression. So if the column count is 13, then only it will read the file, otherwise it won't read the file. So click on OK. So our condition is satisfied. Now we require the copy activity. So as if it is true, our condition is true, then it will copy the data. So there's a reason I'm keeping inside the true. So copy data. My source is, this is my source, and my sink is sink population data. Now I have completed everything. See, so the first one is checks whether the file exists or not, and the get metadata informs us whether and the file information, and if condition, under the if condition, so it's going to check if the file count is 13, then only it will go inside true. If true, then go and copy the data. So let me validate it once. So validated. and let me go to the pipeline and debug it once. So we need to wait until it will finish. If file exists, it's saying the true, then it's checking metadata. So if metadata success, then it go and check with condition. If it is satisfied, then go and copy the data. Say metadata data is finished. So exists true and file size and file count is given. Now it is checking the if condition. Now see if condition also satisfied. That's the reason it copy the data also. From where it is copied? So it copied from blob storage to Azure Data Lake Gen 2 storage. Now we'll go back to Azure portal and we'll go to storage accounts and Data Lake Gen 2 storage account and see the output. Under the output, the population, the file has arrived or copied. We can say that. So this is if it is true. So let me change this condition once. Okay. So under the output activities, so if it is I am changing column count as 14. So what happens? Already we know that column count is in our existing file, the column count is 13. Then it is satisfied and success. Copy is finished. But as we change the 14, there is no file with column count 14. Then it should show some error. Let me debug it once. See file exists, yes. Then it's checking with get metadata. So it's saying taking time. Now file condition is true. But file can until we'll get the file condition, but there is no option of copy activity. Why? Because our copy activity has so we mentioned 14, but here showing that only 13. That's the reason it only showing how much is satisfied, but it's not saying that false condition. So that's the reason I'm taking here web activity. So this web activity informs to us. So if the file is exist, then it gives some error. So the simple scenario is if you are going to check the if you are going to draw the balance from ATM. So if you have some less amount, but you're trying to draw more amount, then what happened? It sends the errors that insufficient balance. In the same way, it shows some error, but I'm not going to perform as if you are doing the what we can say trial with the trial. So, but I'm going to give how can we do it in real time scenario web activity. Under the setting we need to give some what we can say here URL. So just I'm giving some demo URL because I don't have an exact one, and here I'm giving here put and I need to give some body demo body. So these are the my demos only. Okay, these are not only this web activity, only demo. And debug it. Now go to the pipeline. So under the pipeline activities condition 14, then you need to show some errors. Now debug it. So it started the check if file exists. So file exists succeed. Next to getting metadata and checking with the condition with if condition, then checking the web activity. See, if condition is failed, why is failed? Error. So it's saying that details. Activity failed because inner activities failed. Why inner activities failed? So it's saying that we don't know error details, error calling point because response code. We don't have the proper response code. That's the reason saying that. So let me go back to activity and change to 13. Then if you do it, then the file will run properly. Thank you very much.